What is going on, true believers? Welcome to the Believes Crypto Show. My name is Believes. We're here to talk about this crazy crypto world, and the dump continues. This is historical levels right now. But guess what? It's been worse, and it's been worse recently. It turns out when you start to put the math together, and this, by the way, does feel bad. When you start to do the math on it, and you start to look at how the market reacted previously, we might have given too much credit to a few different things, and that means that we might actually be ready for that next level. Most of the bigger people, and when I say that, I mean the leadership of cryptocurrency, really thinks that we are just in a pause before a super cycle. But if that is the case, then I'm going to show you on the charts where it looks like this has happened before. So, we'll see what happens here. But here comes the intro, and then we're going to talk about it. It's not financial advice, but I'm always right.
It's your boy Bleeves. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
All right, what is going on, everybody? We got the Reformed in. What is going on? Thank you for the donation. I appreciate you. Penguin says, every time I buy, it goes down. Can I please get a win someday soon? Washington Heights veteran, good morning to you, sir. Noam saying, good morning. Roy G, good morning. Latama, good morning. 187, is that on an undercover cop? Hello, can we talk about the Normie tool? We are going to talk about that Normie tool. I have not done anything with it yet, though. I'm going to do that over the next couple of days, and then we're going to be talking about it. Yes, normietool.com. There'll be some links coming, stuff like that. You guys, just give it a moment, and we're going to certainly talk about it. And for Jay Manuel, good morning. Good interview with Tom yesterday. Yeah, he gave us a lot of decent information. I don't know how this, there's a time frame, obviously. The markets are crashing right now. Let's talk about the important parts for where we are in the market right now. By the way, we are going to get into a case here where we're doing this kind of side-by-side stuff. I just don't have it all prepared right now. I was upgrading. This is, by the way, this is what the Bears thing looks like. And then there's the Bears side view right there. So I got all of this stuff set up, just waiting for the right time to kind of get everything symmetry, if you will. I guess that's what you call it. Anyway, so what is going on in the market? Let's start off with this. The Epstein files have caused a Bitcoin crash. And by the way, this is not just this. It's not what we're really talking about, but it's caused a bit of a crash. There's been a lot of people. Backlash erupts against Adam Back, Gavin Andreessen, and Tether's Brock Pierce. So these are all people that have been named as people that Jeffrey Epstein has associated with. So I don't know necessarily that people are really nervous about this from this context. That takes a little bit of a stretch of imagination. And look, when you're in the market right now and you're looking at the bearish trends, it's easy to take a bearish trend like this or something that could be bearish and say to yourself, well, yeah, that's going to be a problem right there. But everything that you look at right here, like for example here, the Epstein investment in early connections in the Bitcoin ecosystem dating back to the mid-2010s. He invested up to $500,000 in Blockstream, a Bitcoin infrastructure company co-founded by Austin Hill and cypherpunk Adam Back during its 2014 seed round. The deal was facilitated through Media Labs director Joy Ito. Hill emailed Ito and Epstein to say he would increase their allocation in Blockstream at other investor expenses. We are 10x oversubscribed on an 18 million seed, and read at the last last minute told us to bump your allocation from 50,000 to 500,000. Critics assert that early Bitcoin core developers were influenced through Epstein-linked funding channels to purposely limit the network's on-chain scaling and become a threat to fiat and banking system. That is not true. However, Adam Back has faced backlash and asked to resign for compromising Bitcoin scaling. However, he denied direct personal links to Epstein and claims the Blockstream severed ties many, many years ago. Like, they found out. I don't know the truth of it. I don't know the truth of it, but I know what they're saying. And again, there's more and more people that are coming out of the woodwork as being in some way involved. Gavin Andreessen was appointed by Satoshi to lead Bitcoin Core. He rejected direct outreach from Epstein in 2011 emails. No evidence of further involvement, but Epstein was in contact with Bitcoin developer Amir Taki, whom he had met in 2011. So, and by the way, in 2017, Epstein was not a fan of Bitcoin. Maybe it didn't do what he thought it was going to do when he thought it was going to do it, or whatever the case may be. But he had some pretty bearish comments for it towards the end, if you will. So I'm not sure how this all plays out and how this all works and how this all fits. But when you're in a bear market, it makes people nervous to have your name associated with negativity, and there's some negativity to it right now. But it's not, by the way, look, let's do this. We're just going to type in Bitcoin for news. And that's not what you're seeing, okay? See, as you go down the list, down the list, down the list, down the list. That's not the narrative. It's not the narrative, okay? Only the crypto bros are thinking that. So to think that, again, that this is causing the massive dump, this is not it. This is an unwind of money happening right now. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Vitalik Buterin dumps more ETH as Ethereum ETFs record 80 million in outflows. By the way, back to Bitcoin real quick. I think we're almost at that spot where there's no choice but to go back up for a short period of time. And I'll explain that again in just a few moments. So I think there's going to be a relief coming. Not sure how deep the cut is going to be first. That's the real question. Like how much are these market makers going to scam you? How much are they going to look? They're just hunting and seeking. And all those longs, by the way, all those longs have to be cashed out at some point. That is not a great sign. There has to be a moment where this leverage that is right now in the shorts market, there has to be an explosive, exponential rip on Bitcoin at some point. I just don't know how deep the cut is going to be first, but you cannot allow, these market makers cannot allow the price to just come down and not take out the short positions up there, because those are liquidity positions and they've got to be attacked. If they're not, all those people at some point are going to cash out and make millions upon millions upon millions upon millions upon millions. And that would mean that the game's not being played, and the game is always being played. So we will see a reversal. We will see a rally, and retail starting to get tax refund money. So I suspect that this narrative is going to change pretty quickly. Anyway, moving on. Vitalik Buterin dumps more ETH as Ethereum ETF records 80 million in outflows. He sold 6.6 million over the last 3 days. He's continued to sell despite the decline in price. And by the way, if you've got a ton, and you can make a few $1,000,000 on whatever it is that you're doing, for whatever it is that you are doing, then shout out to you. You know what I mean? Like if you're still with the biggest holder and you're just liquidating so that you can pay yourself, that's how it works. So not really a big deal, but again, maxi bros always have a problem with it. Michael Saylor, in the meantime, this is where we start to run into problems, okay? Michael Saylor's position hits 4.5 billion in unrealized loss amid the Bitcoin crash below 70,000. Now, that doesn't change his conviction, doesn't change anything about it, but they're now down 4.5 billion on a $54 billion Bitcoin investment. This follows the Bitcoin crash below 70,000 for the first time since November of 2024. It's wild to think that Joe Biden was a better president at crypto than Donald Trump has been. It's absolutely wild to even think that. Michael Saylor's strategy is currently sitting on an unrealized loss of 4.5 billion. Now, the question is, how deep is the cut? How far down is it going to go? again, before a reversal. There will be a reversal. Obviously, there's always a reversal. When we look at the charts, there's always a reversal. The question at this point right now is how do we get above that average for Saylor to not force liquidations? I mean, listen, if bull support dries up for Bitcoin and bears continue to sell off on the market and continue to trap people all the way down, there is a spot right there. There's a maximum pain spot for MicroStrategy where MicroStrategy would be forced into liquidation, and that would put this money on the market, and we'd see a $10,000 Bitcoin. Probably not 10,000, but you get my point. I mean, there is a real possibility, but a possibility. It's not a not zero thing that, you know, there could be some really forced liquidations here, which is kind of crazy to think about. Now, not only that, but Bitcoin miners right now are at a loss, and they are, and by the way, when the Bitcoin miners are at a loss, there are some who are going to sell at a loss because they still need to make, you know, they need to make the bills. But the savvier companies that have made the money, the ones who have done the right things, the ones who have purposed themselves in the right direction, the ones who have done the good job of managing their finances, are able to hold and tolerate the risk that goes with Bitcoin. And they don't have to and are not forced to sell, because you don't spend $70,000 on energy to sell a $69,000 item, right? Prices got to go up. So Bitcoin miners are going to be pressed as much as possible into hodling longer term to get back above their profit point. Their profit point right now is around 78,000. Let's see. Profit point Bitcoin miners. Do. Oh, they're making it complicated here. Let's do Bitcoin price. Anyway, I read about it the other day, and it was $78,000 to be profitable. The break-even point. There you go. What is the break-even point for Bitcoin miners currently in Bitcoin price? Here we go. Okay, so it says as of early February 2026, the break-even point for many is around 70,000, driven by high network difficulty and increased energy costs. While efficient modern rigs may stay profitable below this, older, less efficient machines are facing shutdown prices in the 69 to 74,000 range. So they're going to be losing money, which means that they're going to be, some of these miners would be turning off their machine. Shut down prices. Break-even range for many, the critical threshold of profitability is 70,000, creating risk if it drops below. Then there's high-efficiency rigs, which can do it for somewhere near 44,000 because of superior energy, but still, most people don't have those. Inefficient rigs are sometimes as high as 100,000 based on a few of the analyses. And look, you know, we see these stories every once in a while where somebody mines, a single miner mined a Bitcoin or something like that, or got the 3.5 reward, or, you know, we've seen a few of those articles just recently where some of these one-off single mining rigs have won the lottery, if you will. Cool thing, but I mean, again, this is expensive right now to run a Bitcoin mining rig, and they need to be able to profit. Otherwise, they go down. So, you know, let's look at this right now and just say some of what's happening right now appears to be a coordinated attack on Bitcoin. But again, it happens all the time. We're going to go check the charts in just a moment. I'm worried about price go down, just like any and everybody else. But also, I think we might be near max pain. Now, there's some other people who are disagreeing with me, by the way. So we'll talk about that in just a moment. BitMine now bleeds billions as Ethereum struggles to hold 2K. So what is going on? What does Tom Lee think right now about it? And I think somebody should reach out to him and get an interview going. Maybe I'll reach out to him. But according to an X post shared by on-chain analytics platform Look On-Chain, BitMine, the largest public holder of Ethereum, is facing mounting unrealized losses as ETH struggles to hold key price levels. The second largest cryptocurrency is currently trading close to its low of 2,000, while BitMine reports its total losses at $7 billion currently. So, but you know what? If they're holding 30 billion, then all it has to do is go back to 2,500, and they're fine. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not really. I don't think they're really worried about it. Despite these losses, BitMine continues to DCA and acquire Ethereum. As CoinGate reported, the latest purchase was 41,788, highlighting their conviction as a long-term asset. So I think, again, we're going to see a nice big reversal in this market. The smart people, they're already betting on it. And now, let's talk about why we're crashing. Crypto markets sharply decreased due to macroeconomic fears and liquidations. And it should be noted, there's no relief in sight. Okay, this is why you're going to see some people talking about this, saying like, this is bad and it's going to get worse. And the reason that they're going to say that is because there's no rate cut until at least the end of March, which means that we've got another month and a half before the consideration even happens. And when the consideration happens, there's only a 10% possibility of a rate cut during March. And then we've got Kevin Warsh. Now, I do think that he's going to make some massive rate cuts early and often. But again, if the Fed is holding this down, and remember, we got jobs data that was putrid. Only 22,000 new jobs added in a month in the United States. And that number is probably going to be adjusted and most likely down. We could have lost jobs at that point. Despite everything that you hear from the media or from the White House or from all these other places, the data is still the data, and it's not showing that. I think yesterday I was looking at, I think her name is Kelly Loeffler, talking to Donald Trump about $18 trillion in foreign investments, and people are just kind of asking, well, where is it? Because it's not in jobs. It's not, Scott Bessent, by the way, has said that, you're obviously, and Howard Lutnick have said, you're not going to see that right away. It does take a little bit of time. But Kelly Loeffler is saying $18 trillion, we're in the middle of a crazy economic boom in America. Does that look like a crazy economic boom to you? Go to the store. Does it look like we're in an economic boom? Does it feel like we're in an economic boom to you? I don't think so. We're down $142 billion now in this market. So could it get worse? Yep. Did it get worse? Also, yep. There we go. Not likely the end either. This is on the hourly, by the way. This is on the hourly. Now, it's nice, by the way, to see one of those nice wicks kind of show up, because that, when you get that nice little wick down here at the bottom, that usually is representative of at least a temporary reprieve and a move back up, a temporary reprieve and a move back up. But this candle right now, still filling out. Still filling out. This is Jane Street o'clock right now at 9:18. So, we're in the spot where these guys are just absolutely and catastrophically dumping more and more and more cryptocurrency, and new buyers are just not stepping in right now. So, now to continue here, sending shockwaves through the crypto market. According to So Value, U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs recorded net outflows of 545 million. 373 saw the largest single net outflow, and here it is right here. This is yesterday, 373. By the way, there were massive days before. Again, this is wild. This is uncomfortable. You certainly don't want to see the markets crashing the way the markets are crashing, but you're still at $55 billion overall on this ETF, despite the outflows, despite what's going on right now. Could get worse. We're not, probably not done yet. But when you look at this, it's got to be over soon. Got to be over soon. Doesn't have to be right now, but we're at extreme fear in the market. The market knows what the market knows, right? So the lower we get, the stronger the bounce and the reversal. We just got to get to the spot of maximum pain and feel that reversal. If you're feeling despair right now, believe me, you're not the only person feeling that despair. Look right here. This should tell you everything that you need to know. This is the 24-hour chart. Look how many long positions short positions are sitting out there right now. And they are sitting there safely raking in profits, okay? This right here, this is a lot of money sitting on the table right now that nobody is going after. That means, so naturally speaking, let's copy, I want to copy this. Let's duplicate that down to 160 billion. Just, these people are sick. And by the way, that candle that I just said, hopefully that candle will reverse. That candle is absolutely filled out now. So looks like it's going to continue. 168 billion, 169 billion, 170 billion, 171 billion. Buyers are stepping in, but just not nearly enough right now. Back over. Whoops. This one right here, that's not what we were looking for. We were copying this, and then we were going to look at liquidation levels. One hour wrecked. Okay, there we go. Longs and short positions right now. In 24 hours, $1 billion in longs and 173 million in shorts. That is an absolutely catastrophic level. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that sort of level is, there's nobody fighting. There's no bull fighting anything right now. This is just bears cashing in right now, dumping on charts. Like this is just, they're just dunking on everything. Again, 171 billion is what we're down right now. I don't know that there's a reversal in sight. I really don't. What you would expect to see is somebody step in with something positive or something like that. And, really what you would want is the Trump administration to come in and do it. But look, I think what they're doing right now is they're just clearing the runway so that they can start scalping you for your tax refund. That's what this looks like to me. Like this is that purge, that cleansing fire. Bitcoin is now down to 67,000, going lower and lower by the moment. The dump is intensifying, 184 million. We're down 185 billion. The dump just absolutely continues. The Dow Jones is now down 545 points on the day. It is just an absolutely catastrophic day. All right, so crypto market crashing, nothing we can do about it. Certainly, this is nothing like what any of us have expected to see in these markets for an extended period of time. Looking at the DEX volume over here, we're down to 9 billion again. This latest little backstabbing right here, I think, has really shocked and awed the market and really put everybody on the defensive. And here we are. It is absolutely crazy what's going on right now. All right, so we got whoop juggalos. Okay, MK to the moon. Good afternoon. Good morning, everybody. So you're saying little BitX has a better chance? I don't know what that is. Nice interview with the dev guy. Appreciate that. So bullish on dev and Fias. When is Tom coming with article on Fias? Somewhere this month or end? Yeah, I'm not sure exactly when it's going to be, but it's coming. Stefan says, just been loading up TRWA. Here comes 60,000. Right there with you, Penguin. Dev bullish. Yeah, I think we're all kind of dev bullish. I think we all just kind of, you know, none of us like the fact that it's just delay after delay after delay because that doesn't feel good. But ultimately, I remain bullish. I think that what they're doing is fantastic. I just really want to see, like, where is the what do you call it? Where do I get that moment in time? You know what I mean? Like, where do I get that moment in time where they actually say we're ready and not we need another 6 months? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, where does my $10,000 bag become a $100,000 bag, and then I can look at it and say, there we go. You know what I mean? Like, when does that happen? And look, that's, again, a lot of people invest based on what is being said or being referred or inferred or told to them or whatever the case may be. And, you know, it's just not happening right now. So, and going down the charts, by the way, today, like, there's really, I mean, it is getting brutal right now. I mean, let's go take a quick look over here. Bitcoin, right in the middle of that area that I gave you guys a while back, saying that worst case scenario. Remember this? We were talking about this one as a worst case scenario, that this is where it would end up, and that's where it is right now. And I don't know if that's the end of it. I mean, like that, you know, we're really looking at a fundamental breakdown right now. Coming over here, we're at or near the previous top. Like, we've actually broken the 68,800 was the previous top in the previous bull market. We are now under that level. Okay, that's how bad this is. And by the way, I told you before, precipitous drop. Let's talk about this. This is the drop that we're in right now. Let's go look at it from a mathematical standpoint. We are down right now. Call it about 46%. How long did that 46% take? Roughly 114, 115 bars, right? Well, we've been there before. Let's see, right here. This is going to be a 45% drawdown or 46% drawdown, which was right there. Took 30 days. This is when China banned crypto back in 2021 for like the second time. And then what happened? Then we were stuck in this range, and then the double top rally happened, and that's when we had the blow off top in the previous market. When you woke up in October, I want to say like right around here, when you woke up in October, all your meme coins had just exploded out of nowhere. Like, just all of a sudden, everything went crazy. And then your second drawdown was the secondary top over here. And then we want that 46%. First time we hit 46% is right there. 66 days. 66 days on that drawdown, which means, by the way, that this drawdown that we're having is a lot more deliberate and a lot more slowed down and not nearly as catastrophic as it was the last time. So that's the maturity of the market. And then every time that happened, the market reversed and everything started to pump again. So, let's fingers cross this thing and see if maybe, something good will end up happening. Dow Jones still down. Let's see what the Dow Jones is doing right now, because that's stock market sink as tech shares extend their sell-off. Google AI made an announcement that they're investing something like $145 billion in AI over the next couple of years, which has caused a little bit of a sell-off on Google because people don't want them to spend that kind of money. They just want the profit that comes, of course, from AI. So interesting things developing right now. 190 billion is what we are down right now. So this is the catastrophic. When you thought it couldn't get any worse, it is capitulating right now. I don't even, to be fair, at this point, how are there still sellers? You know what I mean? Like, that's the point that you kind of have to ask yourself. How is anybody even still selling at this point? You know what I mean? This is that cleanse. I don't know. I mean, maybe maybe we see a reversal at some point. Maybe we see a nice little wick start to form. Maybe we see something good happen. But right now, it just looks like it is catastrophic. So just going to be one of those days, weeks, months. Look at this. This is, and by the way, let's look at it from this. RSI on the weekly is absolutely cooked, ready for a massive reversal. Look at it down here, just absolutely bottomed out. You know, when we get, here's the thing, when we get historic lows like we're at right now, that leads to historic highs. Like every time, I mean, go back, we're looking at the RSI right now. RSI is down so low, it's only been that low one other time, and that is right here. And that led to this absolutely crazy move that happened in the Bitcoin market over here. Like, that's the only time. That's how bad this market is looking right now. This is the only time that we've seen something like that. When you look at the MACD, same thing. I mean, the MACD number is so low right now. The last time it was this low, right there, and that led to, again, this absolute incredible rally right here that took us from 18,000 Bitcoin to 126,000 Bitcoin. That's how low we are. This looks like, if you're giving me the business, if you will, this looks like the bottom of a bear market. That's kind of where we are when you look at it from an RSI standpoint. Like, that's bottom of the bear market. And by the way, on that day when we had it like really low right there, it still went just a few thousand more lower before we got that reversal. And that reversal took weeks and weeks and weeks. I mean, it was, you know, there's no easy fix right here right now. So, and by the way, there are buyers stepping in. Like, you can see it on the charts as you're watching. Like, there are buyers stepping in, but sellers are just basically coming out of the woodwork right now. And look, the ETFs are going to be on OTC desks and stuff like that. The OTC desks are going to be padded by prices based on like Coinbase and stuff like that. So the ETF selling affects the market. It really affects the market. But I suspect that you're not going to have to worry about that part too much. It's, you know, again, well, we're intensifying again. So we're almost at 200 billion. Looks like we'll flip 200 billion any second now. We had about $30 billion in buyback come in just a few minutes here, just a few short moments ago, and that immediately got sold off into. This is coordinated, okay? You got to ask yourself, like, is it somebody in this administration that's coordinating this kind of crazy, like, is it an opportunity to accumulate for the good/bad guys? I mean, it doesn't really matter what you call them, good guy or bad guy. It's whatever team you're on. So, I mean, could this be, I don't know. We're going to see. I would suspect that in the event that we see a reversal, this is a good spot for a reversal, but also there's another good spot for a reversal that comes up after this. There's going to be 56,000, 57,000 right here. There's going to be this little area right here at around 60,000. There's going to be 59.3, which would be the top of there. There's going to be 54,000 right here, 53,000 right here. There's plenty of different levels for a breakdown here. So, but let's keep moving around here and looking. Ethereum has broken that structure, so it is officially 1930. By the way, for almost everything that you've got paired with Ethereum, everything is dumping. So, and we're going to pass 200. We're down $200 billion in market cap today. We just hit it, and I mean, again, that might spark a little bit of a short reversal, but until we have buyers stepping in and these sellers are stopping what they're doing, we're still going to continue down. Solana is at $83. It's basically a generational buy opportunity. Remember, we were talking about this. This broke down this structure over here, that if we get right here, that it's going to break down and we should get a bounce from right there. And we didn't get a bounce from right there. And, you keep coming down. Where do we find relief, right? The relief right there is around $78, $79, maybe. We're right in the range here where there's your support right there. There's your support right there. There's your support right there. We are at the support level. So if ever there was a time for a bounce, it would make sense that this would be the spot. We would go back and look back in time at Solana and say, well, yeah, that made perfect sense because that's the bottom over here and the bottom over here. So that's where I would suspect to see the bounce. Maybe it's a little bit positive, whatever. XRP, though, however, XRP is now down today 15%. That is bonkers. It is down 15% today. Once $1.50 broke, it was like a cascade. Moving this to the 1 hour, you can see. Let's get rid of that. And it's all kind of happening right there. I mean, like we've been seeing some downward momentum. We've been seeing some downward pressure, but, we really just nothing. Today, shock and awe. Link, $8.32. Tau, $169. ICP, $236. Avalanche, $8.74. Trump down to $3.64. Near down to $1.04. Dev down to 7.3 cents. Definity kind of trading sideways, down 10%, but that's not a ton. Silver is now down 15% today. Gold down another 3% today. World Liberty down 10%. Arrow down 13%. Luna Classic down 9%. BNB down 7%. Aster down another 10%. Conflux down 10%. Pepe down 12%. VeChain down 10%. Zcash down 9%. OM down 9.7%. Avantis, everything. I mean, basically, we've got double-digit extended losses on just a ton of different projects and products right now. Just an absolute breakdown. Depressing, huh? The rich are getting way richer right about now. That is correct. 60K, I think, is the goal again. Then BAM. I don't know if it's going to be BAM. Reversal would need to be fast for the bank. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know at this point. There's when you start to take the time and you go analyze what's going on. I mean, I take the time to analyze this stuff, and a lot of times it makes just no sense. And the reason for that is obviously it's because it's being manipulated. Because what's happening right now is they are manipulating you because they want to shake you out. Or they want to shake out retail so that they can accumulate at lower prices so that they can then do this again. And I mean, if you just kind of zoom out and consider the people selling right now, are a mixture of the people who bought right here and the people who are panicking right here. And when you look at the overall volume, let's remove that, and then we go look at the overall volume from the value profile. Guess what? Let's get right there. I think it's going to be right about right there. So we look at it from the value area. Guess what? Doobie-doobie-doo. This zone I just explained to you, that's your biggest biggest zone. And what is your second biggest zone? Well, it's right there technically. But then right there, there's three zones right there. That's where all your money is sitting right now. So most of the accumulation that's happened has been at those levels. So the people who are selling, they're profiting. They're not, they're not screwed. Which is wild, by the way. It's absolutely wild to think about, but. Yeah. So that's where the money is, and those people, that's where they're making the profit. And look, they're going to buy again right here. And by the way, I think we should look at this, and I think we should at least recognize here, unless we get that big wick. And let me show you again. When you get these big wicks down here at the bottom, all the time, that means the price is, stabilized. And that is the spot where you look for that reversal. Well, we're not seeing that yet. A couple hours from now, just to be clear, if we saw, let's say, we're down, 200 billion? We're down 180 billion right now. We got some people buying back in a little bit. But again, it looks like they're just scaling it and just kind of carving it down lower. If we would have gone down to negative 160 billion, that would have been a strong sort of buy sentiment. And I would have said, you know what, maybe we'll see a reversal here. Maybe we'll see some sideways action or something. Maybe we can see, but unless we get a big wick showing conviction in buying, then that's going to be a signal to people to continue selling. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going to end up happening here. We're down 175 billion right now. It looks like, here's the thing. It's almost 10 a.m., so that means that the bleed is going to slow just a little bit, because this is where you open the markets right now, and this is where you've got your options traders right now doing their thing, because that happens every day at the same time. It's 9 a.m. Central Time. It opens at 10 a.m. Eastern, by the way. So that's why you see Jane Street and all these different options companies doing this. But their conviction is to dump into this market. Now, we were down 200 billion. Now we're down 172 billion. Doesn't mean that there's a reversal here. Doesn't mean there's a reversal even on the way. But on the 1 hour, it looks like you would get some relief at this point. And the reason that I say that, let's close that, is when you get, and by the way, again, I'm not saying it's great relief, but when you get the wicks right here, like you got right now, if it holds, you get a little bit of a rally. If the wicks work, you get a little bit of a rally. If the wicks work, every time you see the wicks, you get a little bit of a rally. So it could be getting a little bit of a rally, or at least really, we're not rallying yet, but that could be a sign of it, or an early sign of some sort of reversal. So, that really, it's just, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen. Doesn't mean that, doesn't mean anything yet. Right now, capital outflow still historically bad. RSI still historically bad. What would be nice? Here's what would be nice. What we would like to see. We got 18 minutes left. What we would like to see is just about a half cut right there to about 100 billion. That would produce a gigantic wick, and that would be a symbol of entry for people. That's like an entry signal. Let's go see what Crusader Signals is saying. Is it giving us buys right now? Yeah, it's giving us buy strength right now. It's telling us continue to DCA into the market. By the way, we need to be on Bitcoin for that. But it's buy strength 3 right now. So that, by the way, is kind of scary too, that it's only at 3. The reversals, it could go all the way to 10. When you get that, the super signal is buy strength 10. So you've got some buy strength signal right here. If Crusader Signals mints another buy signal right here, could be a generational entry position. No promises, no problem. It could still go down, but Ethereum, it's still telling you keep buying. It's at buy strength 6 on Ethereum. Solana, it's at buy strength 6 on. XRP, buy strength 5. Link, buy strength 6. Tau. Oh, I don't think it works when I have when I have it on just crypto. Yeah, buy strength 2 on ICP. ICP's been holding up pretty well. You know what I mean? Despite the market, I think what's happening right now is that people want to buy ICP and that people are bullish on ICP, but the market is just pressing and it's just destroying it. You know what I mean? But it looks like it's got a good fight in it. Buy strength 2. Avalanche, buy strength 5. Trump, buy strength 6. Trump went down to $3.47. Damn. Near Protocol down under $1. Ondo, 24 cents. Still don't have buy strength because I'm not using I'm using crypto, and when you use just the crypto, it doesn't give you that. So sorry, I'll swap to that later. Guess I have to swap some of these out to. Yeah, I want to see the market cap on it, which is why I did, which is why I set it up this way. There we go. We're getting buy strength signals right now on silver. We're getting buy strength signal. We got a buy strength signal right here. Look at this. This called it perfectly, by the way. We got a buy strength 1 right here on gold. When that gold buy strength clicked in, it went up. Where are we at here? 15%. 15% in 24 hours after you got that buy signal. And by the way, it's been giving you sell signals along the way. And every time what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to sell a little bit each time. DCA your way out of it. Coming back down again. Let's see right here. That candle. All right, so could be more downside here. It looks like they're starting to sell off again deeper and cut just a tad deeper here. All right, on the 30 minutes, we got a buy strength of 7 that just popped up. These are the 30-minute trading charts. So you get a buy strength of 7. Like that should be, these are signs of an impending reversal for sure. I mean, these are signs that, I think when it gets to 10, like that's, historic bottoms in the market. So down 189 billion right now. It did move. Look, we got right there. Buy strength 5 on the 5-minute. So we did get the move, a little bit of a reversal. We got a little bit of wick right there, but it just didn't stick. We ended up getting this doji candle. Then we got the rebound right there. Then we got a little push up. Then we got this dump back into it again. I just don't feel anything bullish right now. There's just nothing bullish. You know what I mean? Either crypto never recovers or the run will be the best ever. Yeah, that's what I think right now. We're definitely in a bear market. I mean, and if we're not in a bear market, we're in a bear trend. It's kind of hard to argue with until you really, really, really zoom out. I mean, if we look at it from this context and we say, I'm going to answer this question here. The guy's asking, are we in a bear market? Well, let's look at what the market is telling us. And what the market is telling us right now is that we had, if I go back and I start looking at it from the context, and I'm going to turn off signals here. And we'll use Bitcoin because it's a little bit easier. I've got a clean chart over here. But if we look at it from a historic level, all right, this first test pump is right there. This primary pump is right there. The secondary pump is right there. The top of the bear market right there. And then all we have left is this cascade of down, 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 down. The only thing missing right now from this dump is this sideways action before another massive dump leading to this sideways action and a reversal of the bull market or the reversal of the bear market into a bull market. Structurally speaking, it is hard to make an argument. Okay. Now, here's the other part to it. Let me be clear because the way that I'm lining this up sounds like rest in peace. But let me take it one step further and say, just in case, here is maybe here. Here was maybe here. Here was maybe here. Here was maybe here. And we just had a bigger top on this one. And then this right here is actually that right there. So then that would tell me that we've had our dump. Now we've got sideways consolidation right here, which makes sense because that consolidation was at the top of the previous market. And we know that. We come over here and we see that. It was the top of the previous market right there, which I should have put it over there. But it's the top of the previous market. So we're at the top of the previous market right now with right here to right here. So some sideways consolidation here and then another breakout and another top is not impossible. It just doesn't seem like it right now. It doesn't feel like it right now. It doesn't feel, we don't have any positivity in the market such that we're all feeling it and we're all like, yes, here we go. Nice little rally. I'm not feeling any of that. So when you look at this, it's your determination. What I can tell you is this. We're at a historically low RSI right now. We're at a historically low fear and greed index right now. We are at historic lows. And what happens when you get to these historic lows? You get massive moves to the upside, or at least you tend to get massive moves to the upside. When we come to the fear and greed index and we start to look at it and we go all time, we are at one of the lowest points ever. Lowest point, where is the lowest point? Lowest point is 6. Lowest point is 6, and we're at 12. And how many times have we been at 12? All right, over the last... okay, so this is the lowest we've been since April, okay, of, let's do 1 year. Yeah, this is the lowest that we've been since, I'm sorry, is that February? February 27. It's the lowest we've been since February 27. February 27, what happened on February 27? Let's go back here. By the way, we're down 160 billion. What I said was probably going to happen, or what could happen, or what would be best to happen is actually happening right now. So that would be the best case scenario. Not sure if that matters. All right, February 2nd. So February 2nd, fear and greed index was boom, 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 boom. Right there. We were at 99,000 Bitcoin. So we were in extreme fear. We were in extreme fear at 99,000 Bitcoin. Can you fucking let that sink in? And we got up to the top, by the way, on, what is this, May 24. We got to 70. May 24, we're at 70, which means that if you bought Bitcoin over here, then on May 24, Bitcoin was 112,000. So, I mean, this thing, they know. So if we get any kind of positive, positive move, then, maybe it's a cleanse. Again, it has to happen. But look, we're at 156. We're down 156 billion right now. What I'm messing around with you here and telling you right now is we need to see that big wick, like reestablish some confidence, like maybe we've cleaned out whatever it is that we were looking for. Let's go look at, by the way, the liquidation heat map. That probably gives us a little bit of an idea of where we are. We're seeing a significant bounce right there. They just attacked one small list of longs right there. Let's go to the 1 week and kind of look at that one. See, did we just wick down? Is there a specific, there's not a specific area on the 1 week. I'm going to go to liquidation heat map. I'm going to go away from just Binance. We're going to go to the entire market here. On the 2 week, it's just a cleansing right there. On the 3 month, there's no money down here. It's just a crash. Yeah, there's no money. There's just a crash. It's just a crash. You know what I mean? Like it's. Let's see what this looks like. It's just a crash. What color do we like here? I think we like the blue. Yeah. It's just a crash. That's it. It's just the market absolutely capitulating. So, oh, you know what? Let's go back here and let's look at it one more time at 24 hours. Maybe we'll get a better inkling of an idea from that. And we do not. No. At best, there's, a few bucks down here, but not a whole lot. There's, guys, I'm gonna tell you, you don't normally see this. Like, it normally doesn't look like, like this is a little bit wild. At best you can say that there was $5 million, like everybody got annihilated already and it's still kind of dipping right now. So, everybody has been wiped out. Let's go look at it real time. Let's go look at the liquidations. Remember, it was $1 billion. Yeah, now it's 1.44 billion. So another, in the time that it took us to have this conversation today, another $500 billion or another $500 million just got wiped out in the market. Insanity. 170 billion is what we're down right now. Again, on the 1 hour, that would be the start. If it were to continue, if we were to eat this candle up a little bit, that looks like the start of a rally, okay? That looks like the start of a rally, but everything looks like the start of a rally until it breaks down. Again, what we're looking for is just this. We want that nice wick. That nice wick, by the way, the only reason that we're looking for that nice wick is because that shows that we've reached a spot where buyers are stepping in and they're beating sellers. That's all that means. And when you have buyers step in hard, like right here, and defeat the sellers, then you have a few hours of relief if you don't have a long-term relief. You still have a bit of relief. And when you look at it from the short term, everything starts on the shorter time frames. But when you go to the daily time frame and you start looking and you start seeing what happens when you get that nice big wick at the bottom, well, here you go. You get a nice big wick at the bottom right here. You get a massive move to the upside. Nice little wick right here. You get a massive move to the upside. Nice little wick right here. Massive move. Nice little wick right here. Massive move. So that's what we're looking to see. We want to see that massive wick down here at the bottom showing or signifying that buyers are now stepping in. Buyers start stepping in. Then within a couple of days, you could see a nice little relief rally. And by the way, it's not going to be gigantic. But if you accumulate it right there in, what is that, 2 weeks, you get 15% gain. Like, everybody should want 15% gain in their portfolio in 2 weeks. You know what I mean? And then ultimately, even when you get a small wick, if you got confidence, if you're starting to show confidence, then this move right here ended up going up another 16%. So, you know, if you buy that dip and celebrate that rip and you get that 14, 15% gain each time, then worth it. This one was right here to right here, which was 12% right there. But again, every time you see those wicks, every time you see those big wicks right there showing you buyers are stepping in, that's when you get your bullish reversals. So, and it takes a few days for confirmation sometimes, which is why you get that sideways action, because you're consolidating in that range. And now buyers and sellers are fighting to see who's going to take charge. And the buyers are going to continue to sell. And then you'll have that, you know, sideways range for a few days where we trade like this. But if you have these wicks that are showing up, that are showing at the bottom, that's a sign for that big reversal. So we'll see what happens here, guys. If we are in a bear market, then we will have to wait another 4 years for alts and lunk. No, Ryo right there. Dr. Profit was right. Not just right. He absolutely nailed it. Like, man, I can't take less credit if I tried, because I did not agree with Dr. Profit in the least. I said it was foolish. It was nuts. I was ready for a victory lap. Well, now he's dragging me behind the vehicle. And matter of fact, Ryo, I don't know if you saw it, but somewhere in here, I even threw out the flowers to Dr. Profit and said, you know what, if you are not following this guy, you are making a mistake. This is one of the best calls that you've ever seen right here. Coinfession. Months ago, I said it was ludicrous to believe Dr. Profit Crypto and the narrative that Bitcoin, here it is, right. Terra Casino, there. Months ago, I said it was ludicrous to believe Dr. Profit and the narrative that Bitcoin was headed to 75,000. He was right, and I was very wrong. You should follow him. Oh, and he has me blocked because I called him out over it. So not only did I say you're wrong, I was wrong about him being wrong. Like, it exacerbated the whole thing. So, also, you know what? There are a couple things here that we can go over real quick because I want you guys to see this. Bookmarks. Miles. Where's Miles? Miles Dutcher, friend of the channel. I aped like 20% of my cash during the tariff stuff last year, so I know how to act during periods of fear. But this feels far less likely to reverse quickly. That's what people are thinking right now. Also, Grant Cardone confirms Bitcoin buy at 72,000 dip. On February 4, 2026, Cardone Capital increased its Bitcoin holdings as Bitcoin dropped to the 72,000 level. He framed the move as a classic buy the dip moment, calling out skeptics for those who wanted a lower price. Now you have it. Let's see if you follow through. Another high-profile vote of confidence for Bitcoin as institutional-style buyers step in on weakness. So we'll see. Market's down to 178 billion. That wick that I thought would be really great looking. By the way, it's an entire day, so it doesn't have to be right now. It could go lower, but having a quick reversal, having a sharp reversal, kind of gives you that buyer confidence. That gives you that feeling of like, now we've finally made it. Now we've taken our profit. Now it's time for us to buy. That kind of thing. And the people, by the way, who were selling up over here, they're now buying down here. So people are starting to set their entry positions. There's going to be a lot of people set at 160,000. Going to be a lot of people, or at 60,000. Going to be a lot of people set at 65,000. So we'll see whether or not they get an opportunity to get triggered and get in on the game. But I mean, guys, shout out to Dr. Profit. He absolutely nailed it, and we absolutely failed it. I don't know what to say about that. You know what I mean? We weren't even close to calling it right. And, by the way, I don't know that it gets much better. So, that's it, guys. That's the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's not financial advice. I'm always right. I appreciate you guys in ways that you will never even know. So if you would, hit the like button. If you partake in like button, hit the like button, and we'll see you again very, very soon.